back to a weekly session for maybe the next 3 months.
Yes, please.
I should be able to, but keep in mind this upcoming week I will have had my gallbladder removed, so I may not be here next session.
I will also be in the midst of a second gig that will take most of the month of May to rehearse, starting the 11th. But I'm only doing that gig for 2 weeks after it opens. So at some point in June, I will be freer than I will be.
We're still gonna
kind
be
of in the same bucket. I am not done with finals yet, unfortunately. So I'm like pretty much until the end of May. But once that time rolls around, I'll be happy to move to a weekly.
okay. So based on, I want to address what Knox said. So are you going to be available at all for May?
Hang on.
We are in a story arc that cannot move forward without the presence of Odin, so that's an important.
I'll have the 10th off. I'll have the 17th off.
Okay.
I will not have the 24th off.
Okay. So, based on what Lane just said, let's plan to play on the 17th. So we'll not go back to weekly just yet. What about the 31st? For either Lane or for...
I don't have a schedule for... That's after... I only have the rehearsal schedule. I don't have the show schedule yet, so...
Gotcha. Okay.
Can't.
Well, we'll play it by ear for now.
Probably not. I'm going to say probably not. I don't know for sure, though.
Okay. Well...
Good for 31st.
We will play on the 17th for sure, and then we'll play it by ear from there. So I guess sticking with bi-weekly for now. I don't know what we're doing about the 31st. Oh, okay. Wait. Anybody else have any issues with going at some point weekly, or anybody going to be absent for a specific known period?
I'll have to take a vacation at some point. I think Sam was wanting to go somewhere, but I'll have to play that by ear as well, because I don't know when her job's going to give her that time off.
That's fair.
But otherwise, I also am giving my last lecture on Monday, and then I will be done for about 3 months.
Okay.
I'm back.
All right. So, Knox is back. Before you get the recording started.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. Whenever you are. Yeah, I like your. I just noticed your text on the screen. All right. Whenever you're ready, Justin, let's recap.
Well, it's less of a recap and more of a haiku, or rather several. Golden city gleams, skyship hums with buried past. Prophecy stirs ash. Market whispers trade, mask and ring awaken truths. Old powers take root. Air ascends in light, oath of burden, not of crown. Applause veils the weight. Hidden eyes all watch, souls flame, ancient threads converge. The game wakes again. And I have an actual recap posted in the
Google Drive.
The Google Drive, if you guys want a more in-depth one. That one was just way more in character.
Nice. Well, if anybody needs like a more factual recap, that you can refer to that. But we'll go ahead and get started. The last applause from Odin's speech thins into conversation, then into music, and then into the soft scrapes of polished shoes across marble as the procession of nobles and esteemed guests begin to move toward the palace ballroom for the true main event of the night, the after party. Servants open the side doors. Warm air moves in from the terraces, carrying salt from the Lasaran sea and the faint smell of lamp oil from the palace gardens below. The great chandeliers remain bright, but their light has softened. The formal rows break apart, and nobles, who would never have interrupted the ceremony, now begin drifting toward the places where influence gathers. Toward the king, toward the Cartoneau family, toward Odin. The ceremony is over, but the performance is not. I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to check in on each of you. So I'm going to see what each of you are doing at this time. I want to start off just briefly, Odin, with what you're doing in broad strokes, and then we'll touch on everyone else, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay, I imagine he, his father, his mother, whoever is there that is present with his family, save for maybe his grandmother, are sat at a place of honor, or just a focal point, given the focus of why everyone's gathered today. And he's just on the right-hand side of his dad as people come up to the table to, greet themselves, make themselves known that they were present, blah, 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 blah. He's just being quiet and cordial and nodding to each of them.
Okay. So just to establish, it is you with your father, the Duke, your mother, the Duchess, and your sister, the captain of the city guard. Your uncle is nearby as well, but not with you at the table. Your sister stands, Celeste stands behind you, as if personally guarding you in this event. And your uncle is out on the floor, speaking with other nobles. Your grandmother, Delphine, would also be somewhere out on the floor, also placed in a seat of honor, but sort of separate. She prefers not to draw attention to herself necessarily, but the people in the know, especially older nobles, seem to gather around her and pay deference to her. Also of note, you can see that the king, the High Luminary, King Alucard, Amanon, stands sort of in the middle of the room, and he's sort of greeting nobles as they come in, dignitaries, foreign dignitaries, guests of honor, and sort of directing them one way or another. And you can see slowly people are beginning to make their way towards you, Odin, or towards your table, but there seems to be almost a feeling of who is going to be the first. And that sort of gives a basic layout of the room. With that, let's just go next to Axel. Axel, what are you doing as the party shifts into the ballroom?
And I'm trying so hard to remember. So I have not interacted with Oral and Xingpan and
No.
I have not. I can't even remember. Have I noticed that they're even here yet?
We'll address that in just a moment. But
Okay.
at this point in time, will say that if you've noticed them, the only one that would have struck your attention would be Tariq, being a very large, like 7 foot tall insectoid creature. It's hard to miss them, but you haven't interacted with or really gotten a good look or tried to find out what's going on with them yet. I would say at this point the three of them are still together. They sort of were ushered into the back of the speech hall, and then again we'll see in just a minute what they're doing now, but I imagine the three of them have sort of entered together into the ballroom.
So beside then discounting, that attention, I mean my mind is on other things at this moment, so I am probably just similar to Delphine, just trying to lie relatively low, make polite conversation if necessary, and otherwise just, paying a lot of attention to my wrist. I'll say that much.
Okay. The count is 50.
Much. How much
Minutes.
is it? What did you say? I again lying low, but kind of casing the joint, just watching the room.
Fair enough. Okay. And at this point, we'll shift to Peter. And Peter, we have a bit of first off, describe for me what you're doing as you set up within the ballroom. Are you standing close to Odin? What are you doing generally?
Yeah, since they, I guess, sat down on the table, I'm maybe me and another guard are on each side of the table, keeping guard for not for threats, but for like anyone that comes close. Wait for the approval that they're good to approach. Otherwise, like I will have to step in and push them away. But yeah, I'm on the side of the table.
Okay. I imagine you would be counter to Celeste and maybe Hammond nearby. We can delve further in Odin if this is to your preference. I would say Hammond right now is maybe serving more as a gopher or a handoff if you need somebody to do a favor for you within the room. That way you can sort of control the room a little bit that way. But I would say then that Peter and Celeste are the two main guards posted at your table. Okay. But with that, Peter, I did want to delve in to something specific. The ballroom is loud enough that no single conversation stands out to you. The music, the glass, silk, footsteps, and laughter. The low murmur of old families pretending not to measure one another. But then the room changes for you and you alone. Behind the faces, behind the clothing, behind every practiced motion, souls begin to show their true colors. At first, they are pressure behind the eyes, heat behind glass. Then 6 of them become impossible to ignore.
That way to have all the hands out, laid out. Give me some. Wait. Okay. Okay, I'm back.
The first you notice is a middle-aged man wearing a black shirt and a red vest, perhaps an artificer. You notice that Duke Cartoneau recognizes this figure. His soul glows like a constellation through dark water. Countless brilliant points suspended in a shape that never quite becomes a single figure. Some lights burn steadily, others flicker, vanish, and return somewhere else. It feels almost purpose-built, and it feels wounded. Next, you see the soul of an elven foreigner. His soul is brighter than any you have yet seen, but it does not hurt to behold. A gray crescent moon turns slowly where his mortal body stands. Its light is cold and luminous. Its light has no warmth, but it has gravity. The longer you look, the more it feels like the room around him seems slightly less important. It is nearly as blinding as Delphine's soul. Nearly. Most striking of all, however, is the soul of a large insectoid creature. Their soul does not hold a clean shape. It spins, jerks, folds inward, and snaps outward again, a violent mass of light and hunger contained into a living shell. It should feel unstable, and yet it does not. This motion has a purpose, an appetite, a direction. This is a soul waiting to be fed. I'll let you react to those first three.
I guess since I haven't had a chance of encountering something so big or important in my eyes, at least for now, I'm mostly observing, trying to figure out what's so special about them. I read the room around me, and I know that this is an important meeting, so I think I mostly wait to see what they have to offer and why they are so special. Like, I'm mentally writing down what I'm seeing, so I can always keep them in the side of my eye, so you know, how those souls react to what is happening during this meeting.
In the center of the room, you see King Alucard Baptiste Manon IV, who stands within the warmest ring of court attention. His soul is not the brightest in the ballroom, but it is the most composed. Black and white colors turn and swirl as one another in perfect balance, neither swallowing the other. The effect is so clean that it takes you a moment to realize how rare such symbiosis, such balance is within this space. The King of Avalon burns differently. His soul is a golden sun, broad and radiant, with edges that pulse with a living flame. It's larger than almost anyone else's in the room, but not the largest, standing behind those of Delphine, the elven man, and the insectoid. It fills the space around him without effort, and the people nearby seem to stand straighter without knowing why. Not far from him stands a long-haired, red-headed man whose soul carries the same golden pattern in miniature. Smaller, younger, more concealed, but unmistakably related in shape and fire. Can you give me an insight, Peter?
Yes. Like, damn it! Whatever. I don't know why.
Just roll it manually.
Yeah. 18. I don't have any bonus.
Okay. Yeah, with an 18, You recognize that the connection between this king of Avalon and the younger red-headed man is not symbolic. It's not a coincidence. It's clearly a lineage. You don't know the significance of this connection, but these two are directly related. Across the room again, you see Delphine seated with her cane across her lap. Her soul is, as you remember, somewhat painful to look at. Among the Evruvian elites, several souls carry the weight of houses older than their own lives. You see House Moreau's corner is a red dark with a discipline to their souls. The Cartoneau family burns with a mixture of blues and golds and purplish light. Manon Divisé, whom we have not formally introduced, the family of the king, glimmers with a reflected sunlight, as if light shining off of a pool of shallow water. Amongst the other foreign dignitaries, 3 stand out to you. An emperor from a northern nation, a dwarven prince from far abroad, and a researcher from the Crystal Spire. Anyone else you would like to focus in on?
I keep my eyes on them because they're so striking. I guess I'll look around for any similar unique auras. But if those are the most unique and enormous in presence, I keep my eyes on them in awe almost. I want to get close, but I have my god to keep. I have a job to do.
Okay. Well, that is Peter. Now that we've touched on Axel, Peter, and Odin, for our new entrance into the room, and you guys can go in whichever order. We have Xingpan, Tariq, and Oral. Who would like to take the lead?
My character doesn't look like he belongs here to begin with, so not him.
Tariq has very little social awareness, so why doesn't he go first?
Okay.
Tariq stands a good head and shoulders above most people, so they'll have an excellent view looking around. So as they scan the faces,
You immediately notice there are a lot of people who, again, this is a courtroom full of nobles. They are too polite to stare normally, but there's certainly a large number within this crowd who cannot help but stare at you in confusion and disbelief and awe. But the guards are letting you through, so clearly you're supposed to be here.
no one stopped me yet, suckers.
My character's gonna try to keep up the pace behind. Just kind of like swiveling his head in awe at everything around him because he's never been to this place before.
Yeah, Tariq is also looking at the architecture as they go. and they will spot, I suppose, like they recognize a couple of our companions, our once companions.
But you just go stride right up to Odin. Okay.
No, they're going to notice the dignitary from the Crystal Spire and go that way, immediately
Oh, okay.
distracted.
Fair enough. I do not have a handout in the game. Hold on just a second. I should have seen this coming.
You fool! I gave you my backstory.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Grim goes on and about how well prepared he is.
Well.
First thing
How
that
much?
happens.
How much does Tariq's entrance like derail the mood of the room or the atmosphere of the room? Does like everything come to a standstill?
There's definitely people like not sure what to do. People are trying to be polite and they're like paying it. There are nobles who are clearly intending to pay attention to you, and like are trying to like gain the guts to be the first ones to approach the table. But yeah, it seems like Tariq has unintentionally or perhaps intentionally captured the interest of the room.
As soon as the focus shifts that way, Odin's gonna sort of sit up a little straighter in his chair and he's gonna look over to Delphine to gauge her reaction.
Delphine is sort of watching Tariq with an amused look on her face, like laughing at not Tariq, but the reactions of all of the people around.
And then
And,
he's gonna look from her to Axel and gauge his reaction.
Yeah, Tariq, this would be the first time you're seeing Tariq, Axel.
Can I make some kind of like history or some kind of check to see if I would know anything about creatures similar to Tariq?
Yeah, give me a history check.
History?
With a natural
Damn. God damn.
with a natural 20, you are absolutely certain that you have never seen or heard tale of a creature such as this.
Interesting. Ever.
What a back
Never.
at 20.
That is
Um,
surprising.
You are absolutely certain you have never seen a creature like this.
Okay. That I think that bothers me a yeah, that's I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Mind you, my grandmother is laughing at the people guffawing at Tariq.
Sure.
Yeah, give me a perception, Axel, to see if you notice Delphine's reaction.
Perception.
Yeah.
Oh my
Damn,
god.
and that 20.
God damn.
From what you know of Delphine, that is a face of knowledge, a face of knowing. She knows something that you don't.
I like that even less. I think I'm gonna try and hide my dismay, but I'm definitely like trying to think of what I would even do in this situation. I mean, I don't think I'm inclined to really do anything. Like I just am, and I'm seeing Tariq at the same time as I'm also witnessing Oral being here as well.
Yeah, you would probably see the three of them enter together. We know for sure that Xingpan is walking closely behind Tariq.
But I don't register anything. But I don't recognize him in any way, do I?
Oral?
No, Jingpan.
Oh, Xingpan, no, you wouldn't
So-
recognize him.
I think on seeing this individual who is of a species that I have never witnessed or even heard anything about before, with Oral being here.
I'm assuming that Jingpin and Tariq are probably like my +1s for the invitation.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so Grim, question.
Before that, Oral, finish what you're gonna say.
Well,
Hold
no,
up
I'm
your
just
thought.
saying that, like, if anybody is questioning where they came from, they probably have some kind of signifier identifying that they're my +1. I'm not sure what that would be, but...
For sure. Oral, if you could give me just a straight charisma, and this is not like necessarily a check, it's more like a vibe check.
Okay.
You're pretty well known.
Fixed it.
Oh, nice.
Huzzah!
His roll is working.
Straight charisma.
Just straight charisma. Again, this is like more of a vibe check, just to like
9 or a 10.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
think
well,
you're
that's like
counteracting my
average.
vibe.
No. Your presence is not enough to offset Tariq's strangeness. For Xingpan, he is a little bit out of place, but there are other foreign dignitaries. Xingpan addresses himself in such a way that he could perhaps pass off as a foreign dignitary as well. I don't know, Xingpan, how you want to. Do you want to try and just carry yourself normally, or do you try to have a certain air about you, or?
No, he just does normal. He's very aloof in the way that he just kind of floats around behind everybody. He's, like I said, he's pretty new to the world. I mean, he's seen a lot of what Malachar has shown him, but that's all another world that he's never been to before. You know what I mean? And never will go to. So a lot of the stuff that he's taking in right now, he's just like, oh, wow. Ooh, that is a very tall pillar. Ooh, wow, that is a lot of gold.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, you got your work cut out for you, Oral. Lane?
Keep
Yeah.
in mind, he's not dressed for the part either. He's still just wearing his tattered up monk robes from when he left.
Or, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I did tell you to keep that thought.
I tried. Hold on. Let me. I can walk it back. We're talking about seeing. Or I had a question for you.
Uh-huh.
And is Oral usually here?
I know what you're trying to ask. It's a little too straightforward. I would say that yes.
Okay. Okay. But this is the first time I've seen Tariq or this new monk robed individual, right?
Yeah, you've never seen either of those two before.
And everyone's just mingling at this point, or we're seated?
There's a bit of mingling happening, but it's mostly the vibe of the room currently has shifted from people are nervous to approach Odin, and they want to they're trying to figure out who will do it first, and also like what the hell is this insect creature?
I think at this point, you'd hear the scraping of a chair against the floor as Odin stands, and rather than let people sort of revert back into, oh, well, who's gonna go first, Odin will call upon Maki. Hang on. Maki, would you be so kind to introduce us to your companions? He'll say to Oral.
Yeah.
Well, good to meet you. Over here we have Xingpan. He comes from quite a distance. And over here is everybody's looking
before-
at.
Before you do that, he's gonna reach out a hand towards Odin and grin. We've met before, but you do not remember me. It's good to see you again, Odin.
I think, however familiar you're approaching Odin to shake his hand, I think you hear maybe steel begins to sheath as like Celeste kind of moves up from behind, and
Yep.
looks like she's going to unsheath. Because that's just the way it is sometimes. But
Peter, you can also respond to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do all. Well, I guess I'm kind of lost in his soul rather than I guess yeah I'm lost watching what's his name Malakers whatever Zingpan.
Chupan.
Yeah, I'm watching him, and the moment he gets close to Odin, and I see Celeste's reaction, I'm like, oh shit, I have to do something. I'm working at the moment. So yeah, I'm like, I see maybe draw her blade a little bit more, and I'm just touching the side of my, where my weapon is, my rapier. Like yeah.
Odin will just lift up a hand to stop both of you, and reach out to extend, very gingerly, to extend a hand towards Jingpan and greet him. He'll look past Jingpan back towards Oro. Oro, what's Oro's last name again?
Oh, Valyrian.
Valerian. We're familiar, right? We're familiar with one another. Or have we not met before?
You would not. He would be familiar with your father, which
Yeah, I went to school with your father.
Okay. But I would know you are a Marquis. I would know enough to address you, right?
Probably going off of politics and whatever.
Yeah. Just to sort of address the elephant in the room as to not only the foreigner who's approached me now, but the giant fucking bug skittering about.
At first I
he'll
was going
nod.
to be offended, but I think perhaps you should be offended.
He'll nod to Jingpan after shaking his hand, and then sort of pointedly shift his attention towards Tariq, as I assume Tariq is on their way towards the Crystal Tower ambassador or envoy, and then look back to Oral and like raise an eyebrow to sort of like coax you to make introduction of the bug.
That is Tariq. From what I've gathered, they've met you before as well, in a similar stance to Jingpan.
I must say that I would have the recollection of meeting such an imposing figure.
Well, I felt the exact same way as you did. When we met again, the brief recollections I had didn't exactly show that, but apparently reincarnation can be a fickle thing.
Tariq would have stopped when the attention was brought to them. They wouldn't have kept going towards the other person.
Odin sort of like scrunches up his face, his brow knits up in confusion. Given what you've just said, it doesn't all quite click into place, because it's such a bold thing to say. But there's gears turning, essentially, but he's still not there. He's like, what are you talking about? That's the look that's on his face right now.
Well, there's a lot of things that we'll have to discuss, as I can see you are already quite confused. And I'm not exactly sure when we'll have the chance to discuss things, but I assume there will be time for it soon enough.
At this, the Duke will sort of stand from where he's seated next to Odin, and he'll say, "Well, I am surprised to see you so familiar with my son, Oral. I had thought you had not met since he was but a child."
Well, We've met in other ways. I'm not really sure how to phrase that. I wouldn't want to keep anything from you, though. It's as though we've met in a past life.
Give me a persuasion.
I am great at persuasion. Hold up, wait for this.
I think this might not only be for my dad, but this might be for me as well.
What the fuck?
I am not very persuasive.
Yeah, you can give me an insight on. The Duke is not convinced, and he
Definitely the place. Ooh, go ahead.
he sort of turns to Peter and looks at you, Peter, and he like gives you a look as if to say, "Deal with this," and he sort of nods to them.
Deal with what? With the guests?
But that's sort of the look. The Duke doesn't say anything, but he looks at you and then looks at the three gathered at the table
Wow.
and sort of just nods like,
Everybody's rolling high today, except for Axel. Axel rolled terribly.
Yeah,
Odin, it's obvious he doesn't quite buy whatever it is you've just said, very plainly. But his father kind of requisitions Peter to deal with you guys, quote unquote, whatever that means.
he doesn't say anything aloud.
Okay. Oh, so I don't hear it? Do I not hear him?
No.
give-
No,
okay.
he just turns and looks at Peter and gives him a gesture.
yeah. As he does that, I approach Oral and I stand next to him and I just say, "It's better if you return to your table now."
Oh, we don't exactly have a table, but I'm sure we'll be talking more later. This has been a unique introduction, not exactly the way I'd planned on seeing the Duke again. But I suppose we shall take our leave for now. And Orl's gonna be kind of looking Peter over as he talks.
Can anyone just eat the food here? Like, that's for us, right?
What is Tariq doing?
Tariq had stopped moving when attention was brought to them, and has just been kind of chilling during this whole introduction. But now that it looks like we're being dismissed, Tariq will give a bow and back away without having said anything as of yet. They are aware enough to know that most people give them a wide berth.
As I don't know, as you begin to move away, what does that look like? And also, Axel, like you're watching this whole sort of scene play out in front
That's
of
what I
you.
was gonna ask. Do I hear Oral say we knew each other in a past life?
Yeah, I basically the whole room sort of quiets down. To
I wouldn't
listen
have
in on
been
the
that
strange-
loud with that.
I mean, like you've gathered everybody's
Well,
attention.
Odin made a point to stand up and
Address the
floor.
address the
Yeah.
Oh
situation.
boy, I
Like,
didn't
how
realize I
many-
was addressing the entire fucking room.
Yeah.
I was
Well, the
wondering, I was like,
reaction-
wow, this is
It was very much
old.
Odin stands up and clinks his glass with the fork and be like, Marquis Oral, Valerian, would you please introduce us to these...
I thought you walked
Companions.
over to us.
No, I'm still standing at the table. I stood up. I didn't
Oh.
go anywhere.
You've made yourselves known to the room. Everyone knows you're here.
Can I rework my can I rework my approach real quick?
I'll allow you to try and make a save.
Well,
Okay.
even if they didn't hear you, what you said, the reaction of the central table will,
I mean, that's
make
fine.
them
I don't
feel-
care about that. I can talk to them again, but everybody else is gonna think of us as freaks.
Well, you are. That's why I gave you a stump,
That's true, but
a pedal bear.
what save do you want me to make, Grim?
When I said save, I meant like save the situation. Not a
Oh,
specific save.
okay. Well, whew, boy, how do I save from that?
Odin's gonna eye his grandmother to gauge her reaction again after everything that has just happened. And pending
She's
whatever
just-
that might be.
She's just laughing.
Pending he rolls his eyes at that and turns to his father and he goes under his breath. Was it really necessary to dismiss them?
He shakes his head and he'll sort of lean over to talk to you and say, I know Oral Valerian well. He is a good man, and he means no harm. I will speak with him after this. It is simply unfortunate to begin the party in such a way. Well, nonetheless, I'm sure your friends will, they think themselves your friends. And they'll gather plenty of attention in tonight's festivities. We can greet them again once things have calmed down, perhaps.
And just to clarify, are they being removed from the party wholesale or just sort of like shuffled off somewhere in the room?
Shuffled to the other side of the room.
Yeah, we just got told to go back to our table.
Okay.
I
Is
will
anyone-
step in at this point. And who is the one shuffling them away?
It would be Peter, and
Um,
again, Oral was gonna try and save this situation.
Sorry.
somehow,
Okay.
but
Sorry. Go ahead.
Let's let him do that first.
You don't have to try and save the situation.
Well, I suppose I'll address Peter then. My apologies. I didn't exactly mean for us to introduce ourselves like this. I'm not always the best when it comes to situations like this. Despite my status, I come from a much lower place, and I tend to overshare with things that may be pertinent. Now, I realize that what I said doesn't exactly sound believable, and I didn't do a good job at making it sound believable. But the truth is that there's much to discuss regardless. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a talk with the Duke later on to discuss these things, whether it's that or just something else entirely. There's things that need to be done, and things that need to be discussed.
And you're saying that to whom?
To Peter, but just that's slightly louder as we start to walk away.
I'll
Yeah.
allow you to decide if you believe him or not, but go ahead and give me a persuasion.
That's great.
You can choose whether you want to believe him or not, Peter.
And mostly I'm not even I saw him the way and I let him walk and I stand behind him and I'm like not even listening to what he's saying. I'm like one hand is almost reaching in front of me, like waving in the air, but like trying to touch the whole constellation to feel what that feels. But when we reach the table, I look up to him and I'm like, "Oh, were you talking to me?"
That was a general sentiment, but like I said, I tend to overshare.
I take a bow and my side, even though you can't really see sight. It's focused on his central area on his chest, I guess, where like the order of that constellation is. And I stand there for like, I feel like it's an eternity, but it's mostly like 1 or 2 seconds. And I say, enjoy the dinner, and uh, yeah, I don't say anything else. And I straight up uh, dust off myself and return to the main table, back to my post. And as I return, I like almost um, touch my fingers with my thumb, trying to, I don't know, feel any different, um, having my hand in the area of the constellation or whatever that was. It's just like a new experience for me.
As you sort of pass your hand through this sort of shifting constellation that is Oral's soul, you feel like a tug, a pull, almost as if you are pulling away or almost trying to absorb a piece of this. Oral, you feel a sudden, like, lurching in your stomach, almost like you've grown weak. It's only for a moment, and it passes, but it's a strange feeling.
Well, I see that you can do strange things as well. I would like to investigate the makeup of Peter.
Peter, you can give me a description of what you look like. He is a warforged, as you would traditionally know them, but he's a little bit unique. Warforged, by the way, not really a common thing in this world. Pretty rare.
Are Warforged considered magical or mechanical in nature?
Mechanical, generally.
Let's see.
The world's leading expert on mechanical beings is actually here, present in the room.
Apart from like, you can see Matt's from the neck down since he's wearing his uniform, but on the head, it's like a helmet, but it's mostly it's not silver or like a guard's helmet. It's like plates of something that resemble marble or porcelain, something in between that. The central part is like covering most of his face, and like the side parts are like almost separate. So when he's moving, they are moving as well to create the illusion of someone talking. But on the center of his face, that plate it's almost translucent, so you can see lights as eyes, but they are shifting like something like like the PC that has the water cooling, like something running in and out, up and down in all directions.
Okay, so you're not trying to present yourself as human.
No.
Okay.
All right, Axel, you wanted to intervene or step in.
All that I was going to just step in, like, kind of like in step with Peter, just to be like, like to everyone on the outside, just being like, oh, like, I will accompany these guests away from the, like, kind of the center of this party, like, so, like, kind of playing it off as a, like, let's try and like as part of the effort to just keep everybody, you know, like away from the center of everything. But very, it most definitely actually want to get these guys away from everything so I can start grilling them on how much they fucking know. But I think, well, so would Oral recognize me?
How similar do you look to Axel? Because he has a fairly broken memory.
I am a human man, so I pretty different in many ways. And I'm much older. Like I am much older now. So
Yeah,
probably.
I would say based on what we've discussed before, you would recognize Oral, but Oral would not recognize you.
Yeah. So, oh man. What was and so Oral said like, you know, we knew each other in a past life, but what did you say something as a recovery to that, or
not successfully.
kinda...
I couldn't
Yeah.
think of anything.
Right. Okay.
I don't think there's a way to realistically recover from that. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I think I walk up and like start to like also like usher you guys, you know, to the side, and just think I would just say,
Peter, do you like let Axel handle this takeover, this handoff?
I would like to elbow Xing Pan for
Well,
forcing
my
me into
job
this situation.
was to remove them from the main table, and as I guide them to the new table, which they haven't been before, so I guess I just picked up an empty table. And
A small crowd begins to gather as if to come and greet these unique individuals.
yeah, I think I return to my post, but I keep my sights on them because I'm fascinated.
Right.
As we're walking off to the side, I do elbow Xing Pan a little bit and be like, "Why did you have to say that? You do realize I'm the one who has to do all the talking here, right?
My
I'm not good at that."
apologies.
I'm still standing with you guys right now, by the way. Just saying.
Well,
that,
that's
but-
fine. At this point,
Listen.
Oral doesn't care. At this
Yeah.
point,
I
he's just
Um,
like,
tried to
"Why
make
would you
it
do
right.
that?"
And from now on, I will stay a good distance back. He smiles.
Well, I don't
All right,
care if you stay a
all
good
three
distance
of you.
back.
All three of you, give me a perception check as Tariq has once again left the group and is wandering across the ballroom.
Oh, Jesus.
Of course, I cannot keep everyone in check.
He hit the dance floor.
Wow, I haven't rolled above an 8 today.
Oof. You've rolled a 9.
That's
All
with
right,
a plus 1.
Oral, you don't notice Tariq leave.
I wouldn't think so.
That's
Oral
amazing.
must be something's going on. I don't know what. I think he's as cooked as I am.
Okay. Xing Pan and Axel, do you even care that?
I think I do. I think I would, seeing Tariq just wander freely, I think I would probably go over to Tariq, because he's probably also drawing a crowd of people, I have to imagine.
There are a small handful looking to approach Tariq, yes.
I would just, not like body block or anything, but just simply walk over to Tariq and just say, well, I don't know, like, what's Tariq's vibe? Is Tariq enjoying this, or is Tariq, like overstimulated? Like, I don't know what the...
Tariq is got a destination in mind.
Which, can I glean what that destination is?
Tariq appears to be heading towards a representative of the Crystal Spire, one whom you've
Ah.
met before. Now, this is Alder Naramzi. He is a being that you would recognize as an apprentice studying in the art of temporal magic.
Let's see. I think. Okay, then in that case, I'm gonna stick with Oral and Xingpan and immediately turn to Oral and say, "You've brought a very interesting assortment of companions with you."
Well, it wasn't my intention to. At the start of the week, I wasn't expecting things to go like this, but when I went looking for companions, I found them.
Marquis. Yes.
That is correct.
As a former best friend of this man, could because I've always got Malakar's mask resting on the top of my character's head.
Sure.
Can he like nod his head and let it flip down and let Malakar get a look?
Yeah, and also Axel, you can. What's your passive perception?
Passive. It's probably not great actually. 11.
Okay. Yeah, you can give me a perception check.
Perception check.
How are you even finding these? Why are you getting these emojis?
These are excellent.
With a 17, you notice this mask. Give me a further, we'll say insight, and you'll have advantage to see if you recognize its characteristics.
Advantage on insight.
Yes.
Okay. This might be. Okay.
You recognize this as a uniquely orcish face with uniquely vampiric characteristics.
Right.
It reminds you immediately of Malakar.
Sure. This is a lot. I am going to just without even explaining it or like prefacing it at all, I am going to turn towards Xingpan. Is that how you say it? Is that the pronunciation? Is it?
That is correct.
Okay. And I'm going to cast message. Well, okay. No, but you can't reply to message automatically. Oh wait, no, they can reply.
They can reply 25 words or less.
I'm simply going to say, "Do I know you?" And what I'm interested in is hearing the voice that replies.
Yeah, my character's going to like grin under his mask, and he'll let Malakar take over for the reply.
What do you want to have Malakar say? I mean, Malakar's an NPC at this point, but I'll let you respond.
He'll probably say something along the lines of, let's see. Sorry things didn't work out with my sister there, friend. Good to see you, though.
I am going to make a roll real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, I need you to give me a wisdom save.
That's a big old Constitution save right there.
Yeah, a wisdom, constitution, like a 17. You've had chance encounters like this before. How do you maintain your composure, or to what degree do you?
I'll see if they want to make an insight check on me. I'm pretty composed, and I am gonna try to hide my reaction. Oh well. Just don't
How does
get
that
a nat
read?
1.
How does that read to your former best friend, who can read you like a book?
I think straight. And so this is like to be clear, I am like in my like 60s, maybe like mid to late 60s at this point. I just start crying, like straight up. Just I start like crying openly in this room. Like not like shaking sobs, but just very much like very stoic, still face with just tears rolling down my cheeks, like actively.
Balakar or Zingpan is gonna raise up his mask and kind of give a big smile, and he's got some tears too, and he opens his arms like, "Come here, buddy."
I think we'll go to give you a hug, but then we'll immediately realize where we are right now and give a very okay. So can I now make a perception check on what who can see us right now?
Yeah, so we'll cut back to Odin to see what was happening in the meantime. Depending on how successful Odin is in his what he's going to be doing during this time, will determine how much of the crowd is paying attention. I would say there's still a portion of the crowd who's watching you all with interest, but how much of the crowd depends on Odin. So, at this point, we'll say a portion of the crowd, but I can't say how much until we cut back to Odin.
And it's like, look over there.
How well do you entertain your guests, Odin?
What do you want? Do you want a performance roll?
No, we'll come back to it. You'll get some rolls here in a minute.
Well, what?
Odin, you would be able to see this at least.
Is what? How much? Very much clarify exactly what it is I'm seeing.
You would see Peter lead the trio away. You see Tariq wander off on their own. You see Xing Pan, the elven monk, and Oral talking with Axel. You see Axel and Xing Pan seem to be talking to each other, and then you see Axel begin to cry, and you see the elven monk is crying as well, and they look like they're about to hug, and then they sort of stop midway.
Odin's just confused as fuck. I rolled a nat 1
Valid,
earlier.
honestly, valid response.
Just-
What the fuck is happening right
Yeah,
now?
fuck is going- And then, like, as Odin's watching this, it's like from off the side of the screen, fucking like.
What's going on over there?
Melvin Tybalt stands and like is the first
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
show up in front of my face, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Hold on, I'll do Tybalt in a minute, but
and his at some point his attention is divided back between you guys and back to the room and what is happening, or what at least is supposed to be happening. And so he'll entertain Melvin for a while, I guess, and I think behind him perhaps a line of not petitioners, but like well-wishers, like, you know how you bring like a gift to like a birthday party or something like that. It's sort of like it's that kind of deal.
yeah, let's just focus in on what's actually happening with Odin now. So we'll cut back in time just a little bit, and I'll lay the stage for you so you have a better idea.
I imagine there's a couple of people who have come with maybe ideas for deals and trade, and Odin's like, maybe they're ideas that they've tried to present to his father before, but they were turned down for whatever reason, so they're like trying their second best option with Odin.
Sure. So basically the way it rolls out is after sort of the festivity of these two strange individuals sort of leaves, Duke Edmont, your father, will turn to you and he'll say, "All right, this is your moment. They will come in waves. Let them come to you first. It will, if you go to them, it will insinuate that you are eager. And then your mother,
Odin nods and sits back down from where he was standing.
your mother on the other side says, and if anyone speaks too warmly, listen to what favor they're asking from you."
And he nods to his mom as well.
The first to approach is a silver-haired countess, a noble of no real name, who compliments your bearing and asks whether your firework or work is the future language of Avruvian defense.
I'm sorry, say that again?
A countess approaches and asks whether your firearm work is the future language.
Firearm work. Okay, I thought you said your firework, and I'm like, my firework.
Firearm work.
Firearm work. I think he'll sit back, give the question due thought.
Just immediately, in the fact that you don't respond immediately, you see a smile cracks across her face.
I think due consideration should be given to any new invention before it is placed into the hands of those who might not fully understand what it is capable of.
She nods. Then I see that you are a wise and noble leader. House Cartoneau should be glad to have one such as you as its scion, and she'll smile to you before bowing to the Duke and Duchess.
He nods back to her.
A parliamentary observer with ink-stained cuffs walks over and first congratulates the Duke, and then he turns to compliment you. Your father has always understood industry well from a policy standpoint. I wonder whether you share that talent, Lord Cartoneau. Do tell, what are your thoughts on the burgeoning artifice revolution?
I think perhaps the future is an untapped sea of potential. This is merely another method we might employ to explore that potential. With caution, with curiosity, but we must not lose sight of what it is we hope to achieve. I think to look at the specific details of what one can achieve in the immediate sense is short-sighted.
He smiles and nods. It is a well-thought answer. It speaks well of your wisdom. For one of such young age, it is quite the virtue indeed.
No, do you have any man, words escape me every time I need them. Do you have any prospects for entering this field yourself?
Oh, he smiles and shakes his head. No, I am but a policymaker myself. I work out of the Parliament, but it is good to know that your thoughts are well measured. That prosperity shall not stall under your rule, but neither shall it endanger the people.
That is my first concern. Always.
He smiles. And as he turns and leaves, the Duke will reach over and pat you on the shoulder. He never sort of looks away from the crowd in front of him, but sort of like a gesture as if to give approval to your answers.
I think Odin reaches out for a cup of wine and takes a big swig out of it.
Across the room, you notice that Bastian Moreau has been watching you over the rim of his glass. Me grab handouts. We've met Bastian Moreau before.
It sounded like Alan from Smiling Sorry, it was just
I don't know. I don't know this reference.
never mind.
He is not alone. A man who must be Alessio Moreau stands near him, speaking to no one and being watched by everyone. Beside them, Iridia Moreau looks almost amused. Her attention passes over you and then to the people standing closest to you. She looks with amusement at the gathering crowd that seems to disperse as Axel sort of pulls attention away from Xingpan, Tariq, and Oral. But she seems to notice everything that they're doing and is watching the exchange between that group with great interest, maybe more so even than what's going on with you at your table.
I think perhaps for a second it looks maybe in their eyes like Odin's not going to do anything. He's just going to sit there and wait for the next person to drink. Or not to drink, to approach him. But he will stand when he realizes that they're making eye contact with him and lift his glass to address the Count. Count Moreau, he'll call out loud to the room.
He nods and sort of does a quarter bow from across the room as he holds a wine glass up towards you. And then you see him turn to the Countess and to Bastion. You see a sort of a scowl appear across Bastion's face, but the three of them sort of begin to move in your general direction. You see some of the other nobles also begin to move in your direction. Give me just a general sort of wrapping up these sort of less important minor interactions. Give me just a general performance check for how well you're handling the situation.
Sure. 17.
17, okay. All right. And as you sort of call out to Count Moreau, and maybe before they can reach the table, a couple of other nobles who've sort of lined up to meet with you are sort of look at them and then look back, and realizing that they have time will step in to take up some of this space. A palace attendant steps forward with a lacquered case in both hands. For Lord Odin Saint Castile Cartoneau, ere recognized before crown and court. And you hear the conversations begin to die out in the room as the first of the gifts begins to make their way towards you. And similar to the previous conversations, just a number of nobles walk forward and present gifts. The first of note is Duke Ferdinand de Cour.
Odin gives a deeper seated, not bow, but bow of his head, I guess, to Ferdinand.
Duke de Cour approaches with a broad smile and no visible fear of the watching room. He carries a long case of pale river wood bound in green leather. His bow is court appropriate but warmer than protocol requires. Lord Cartoneau, Point Plenty sends congratulations, and House de Cour sends something more useful than another jeweled letter opener. And he presents the case before you. Inside the case is a collapsible surveyor's spyglass made for river navigation. Its brass is old but beautifully maintained. A newer Cartano-style focusing mechanism has been fitted into the body, suggesting that decor craftsmen and Cartano artificers worked on it together.
Odin's brow lifts up, and he's very taken with the gift. Good Duke, I thank you for this wonderful display of craftsmanship.
He nods and says, "Good. A lord who can see further than his own gate is already ahead of several men I know." And he sort of chuckles and sort of almost insinuates that he's talking about some other people within this room. Give me an insight check. A 14. With a 14, you can tell that Decor is genuinely friendly toward you. But that this gift is a show. It's meant to make that friendship visible not only to you, to your father, but to everyone in the room. It's a statement that says the trade between Decor and Cartano shall flourish under this new rule.
Odin kind of gives a restrained smile and dips his head. Our houses have always been close allies. Duke Ferdinand point plenty feeds the realm, and I should see no reason why that should change course.
He smiles. I see your parents have raised you quite well. And he smiles and exchanges a few words with the Duke and Duchess before he leaves. Next, Marquis Jean-Pierre Vizier approaches with Lady Claudia Vizier ni Levine. Marquis Jean-Pierre Vizier approaches without flourish. His gift is carried by a uniformed aide, but presented by his own hand. It is a compact, reinforced rangefinder, built from blackened steel, silver calibration rings, and green crystal lenses. Lord Cardinal, for distance, elevation, wind shear, and judgment under pressure. Most failures begin with poor measurement. You can give me an insight check if you like.
To be sure. Yeah. Ooh. Not as great.
Okay. With a 9 insight, you take his words almost with a shallow level of insult, as if he is saying that you have poor judgment.
I don't address it, and I try not to let it show.
May it prove instructive. And the lady Vizier ni Levine, she sort of smiles and gives you a curtsy, and she looks at the Marquis, who quickly walks away and heads in the direction of the Moreaus, who've lined up as well. And she sort of smiles and waves to you before she leaves.
He gives a smile to to Jean-Pierre before he leaves, but it's a practice smile. But as soon as his back is turned and he's walking off, the practice smile turns to something more genuine and warmer towards Claudia. My lady.
She smiles. It is good to see you, Odin. I hope all is well.
How far are you in your new position? And his eyes sort of shift back to Jean-Pierre.
At this point, Jean-Pierre is still sort of giving his formal introductions to the Duke and Duchess. Well, things are well enough. He stays interested in his inventions. I'm sure he would be quite intrigued by your friend over there. And she sort of gestures to Tariq. And not least to say of your new guard. He's quite an interesting model, that one. And she looks at Peter. And you see as she gestures to Peter that Marquis Vizier sort of looks back and forth between the Duke and Peter, and they seem to, you can't fully make out what they're saying throughout the rest of the noise of the room, but you do hear exchanged words talking about Peter specifically.
With regard to Peter, my input might be somewhat more informed than with regard to whoever that is. And he sort of just unsuredly lifts his hand up to gesture towards Tariq, because he's got no fucking idea what the hell's going on over there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And as those two shuffle away, the next guest arrives. It is the Countess Jeanette Levine. Countess Jeanette Levine approaches with a smaller gift than the previous two. She knows it, and the room knows it. She carries it herself. The box is clear glass with living green leaves pressed beneath or between its glass panels. Inside rests a slender fountain pen with a transparent barrel, the ink within it shimmering faintly like sunlight through river water. My house offers its congratulations, Lord Carteneau. May every signature you place in the years to come be made with care. Again, give me an insight check.
A very thoughtful gift, Countess. My condolences for your recent loss.
She smiles courteously and does a curtsy. With a 25 insight, you can tell her mind is elsewhere, but she seems to take your genuine thanks well. And based on your response, she says, go ahead.
Before she has a chance to say anything, Odin might... I don't know if this is a slight faux pas on behalf of him, but he'll say, I believe Lord Levine was in his 90th year?
She smiles and says, yes. May he rest in peace. And she
just arches a brow at her, like silently he's thinking, yeah, sure.
She gives a practiced smile, which with your insight you can tell is practiced and not one of much personal care. You can see deep within her eyes I wouldn't say that you can see a feeling of despair, but it's more like someone who looks as if they've been shackled for a long time and doesn't know what to do with their newfound freedom. It's the look you get from her. And she looks to you and looks to the pin and back to you. Your answer speaks to your wisdom. It is a powerful answer within this room. I hope it serves you well.
Thank you, Countess.
And she bows with or does a curtsy with a genuine respect.
As she leaves, I'm gonna gesture Hammond over.
Hammond comes over and leans in deeply as if to hear your words.
Speak to whoever you need to ensure that she has, let's say, a dozen retainers of our own that we can afford to part with.
He nods. It is most gracious of you, my lord. I will see it done at once.
Make it a quiet thing, if you could.
He nods. You can have inspiration for that.
Yay!
Next, Count Melvin Tybalt approaches with the Countess Annabelle Tybalt close at his side. Melvin carries no visible gifts. Annabelle carries a narrow velvet pouch between two fingers. Melvin bows. Lord Cardinal, our gift is modest. To which the Countess responds, but it has certain advantages that we hope you will appreciate. And she places the pouch upon the table.
He eyes it, looks down. Yes, the modesty of Cordell is well known to most at court, I would imagine.
How was that intended to come across?
It's up to you, my friend. How does Melvin take it? If you can't tell, roll me an insight check, bitch.
Melvin, well, first, Annabelle responds, oh, good, he has teeth. And then Melvin will respond, and with luck, the patience not to show them too early. And he gestures again to the pouch for you to open.
He'll smirk a little bit. Good-natured smirk. And reach down to inspect their gift.
They both sort of grin. With sort of the mischievous look of a naughty uncle. Inside the pouch is a signet guard, a small protective housing that can be fitted over a noble signet ring when sealing documents. It contains a hidden mechanism that prevents the ring from being pressed unless magically released by the wearer. Give me an insight check.
Insight. Oh, not great. 8. My rolls are never consistent, man. It's either one end or the other.
With an 8, the insinuation here is that you cannot be trusted with your documents.
I'm sure this ring will stamp many a document that comes before me. Thank you, Countess.
Melvin Tybalt gives exaggerated low bow, and the Countess will simply tip her hat to you before the two of them leave. Next is Margot Manon Divisé. Margot Manon Divisé cuts in before a more formal relative can take the floor, She carries a small, wrapped parcel and walks with the weight of someone who absolutely knows that she is annoying someone by presenting it to herself. She does a very quick quarter bow and then says, Lord Odin, on behalf of the tolerable wing of House Manon Divise, and then, as though in direct response to those words, you hear a voice ring out from behind her, a man you recognize as Gideon Manon Divise, say her name as if in warning, Margot! She ignores the warning and hands over what appears to be a small palace token taken from an old festival of Lux. The kind once given to noble children during royal celebrations. It's not materially valuable, but it is old, charming, and faintly improper as a formal gift. Give me an insight.
11.
Wow.
We love all
Uh,
these thinly veiled slights.
I have a
Yeah.
+3 in wisdom, guys.
Yeah, with an 11, it comes across just as that, not a thinly veiled slight. This is just a slight.
I'm gonna inspiration that.
Okay.
I can't do better. Please do better. D&D Beyond, stop. Oh my god.
Nice.
So an 11.
I'm gonna use my recap inspiration and,
Okay.
and try that again.
Roll it twice now. Twice.
No, it's
because
all good.
well, that's the way it works.
It's 11. It's just
No,
supposed to be
roll
11.
roll it again. When you do both, it's doubles up. It's like doing a second inspiration roll. So it's like rolling twice. The second time would be with advantage.
I
Yeah.
can live with it. I can live with 21.
Okay, 21. With a 21, you can tell that Margot is more observant than she sounds. You also recognize that this token is not the empty gesture it appears at first. This is a token that dates back to the early reign of King Alucard. And out of the corner of your eye, you notice your father eyeing the token with some interest. It appears as a gift of nothing, but in reality, this is a deeply meaningful gift, as if saying that she has placed this token here, as if she is placing a bet on you, as one would do in a casino. It's a much deeper meaning than it initially comes across as, but one that many in the room will misinterpret.
Reach down and pluck it up and inspect it closer. It is of a higher importance to me that we give recognition to our culture, our roots, and the wellspring from which we all come from.
All right.
Would she technically be a princess?
She would. She's not formally recognized as a princess.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I'll just say
it,
thank you,
yeah.
my lady.
yeah. And she'll nod, and with the sort of same aloof discare, she sort of bounces away. And you can see Gideon sort of scowling from a distance. You can see also present within the crowd, Philippe is sort of just chuckling at the whole exchange. Dominique is watching nearby as well. She sort of gives a knowing look between you and Margot, as though she's happy that you have received the correct intention of the gift. And this is about when you notice the exchange between Axel and Xingpan.
The hugging?
Yes. Well, it's interrupted, but
Okay. But yeah, the almost hugging.
yeah. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to run to the bathroom, and we'll continue from there.
She may not be formally recognized as a princess, but I'm pretty sure she's formally recognized as a problem.
She's a formerly recognized pop-ass bitch.
Same thing in the high society.
We love a rebel. Her family's adjacent to the king, so I feel like she can do shit and get away with it. As a princess.
Gotta be some perks.
I'm back.
Excellent.
Man, it is tough to introduce a whole new cast of characters all at once like this.
Well, I only have like the first 3 rows of things on my on the top of my screen filled with things, so you know.
Things, huh?
I mean, just like all of the different handouts, I just double-clicked them to minimize them, and I have 3 rows of them, so on an ultra-wide monitor.
It's not a fun political intrigue game if there's not a lot of fun political intriguing characters.
It's true. Also, like, it's not often that you get a big celebration like this where you gather everyone together at once.
It's a good opportunity to introduce everyone, as opposed to doing it piecemeal along the way.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, I know we're years into a game already, but you don't want to be like years into a game and then still introducing new characters like, huh? Who's this? What?
It's the start of a new story arc. And we're going to be focusing on these characters for probably 2 levels, so... Also, like, just the schism of, like, holy crap, my friends are alive, while simultaneously, like, yes, court intrigue.
10 billion people.
Correct.
Think of it less in terms of people to keep track of and just houses.
I'm impressed by this Spider-Man. Is that like... Is that actually hand-drawn?
That's not an
absolutely
emoji.
hand-
I drew that.
Yeah, that's so good. I was looking and thinking to myself the same thing. I was like,
How do you
that's the
even
meme.
add an
That you
emoji?
copied pasted the meme.
A Spooderman. I recreated it with MS Paint level tools.
It's impressive.
Thank you.
I like, was it a caterpillar on top of Tariq?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
I gave Xingpan a few piercings. Thought they looked good.
And a booger.
I didn't give him the booger actually. That wasn't me. I did
I'm
give
guessing
him
that was
the
Oral.
mustache.
Oh,
I didn't do that either.
Peter.
I did the booger.
I thought for sure. What are we what the fucking at back there? Is it just it's just background NPC? Look, listen.
Bro, zoom in on it. It's horrifying.
Yeah. Children of the Corn or whatever.
It's
Yeah, all
bro.
the fucking red eyes, dude. Stop freaking me out like that.
I don't know. I just let it happen. You know, whatever. It's AI art. Like,
No, I know. I was just saying what the fuck because it's like well AI glitches are always horrifying, but that one specifically looks like I don't know. Looks like the pale man from Labyrinth.
who knows? Maybe it's the Mask of Stone.
Maybe.
Who knows?
All right, let's do a quick check to see if everyone's back. Felix, I just heard you. Forged, you're here. Just heard from Lane. Knox, you there?
Yeah.
Tell you there.
Yep.
Justin, you there? We are missing a goose.
Nutella.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. Then we will continue. Cutting back now to Axel. This heartfelt reunion. You can see that Knox has drawn the majority of the crowd attention. He seems to be handling himself well, and the nobles of Ever seem to be regarding this with great interest. The sort of chaos of the giant bug has been diverted away from you as well, as Tariq walked away. People are less interested in Xingpan and Oral as they are in Tariq, so this has worked to your advantage. Notably, you catch the spying eyes of the Moreau family, but otherwise you seem to have escaped most everyone here's attention.
You're saying that most of the attention is on
Odin.
on
Odin
okay.
or Tariq.
Yeah.
Or Tariq. Nobody seems to notice your exchange except for the Manans. Or people people maybe assume there's nobody makes a connection necessarily.
People are close enough around us that we need to they can hear what we're saying if we're not being careful, right?
Right.
Okay.
Just now.
I compose myself as best I can, and I will, just looking. Well, I guess so. And sorry, just to be clear, are Malakar and Jingfan literally switching control of the body, or what is?
You can give me an insight check to try and
Okay.
understand what's happening here. Maybe an Arcana as well.
Okay.
No, he has no
insight
idea.
to it.
Nothing from the inside.
You know what? I'm using my inspiration on that.
Okay.
I want to know what the fuck is up.
Yeah, so with a 19
okay.
insight, you're able to determine that Malakar came out with the falling of the mask, and Xingpan seems to be a vessel of some sort, but seems to be also attached in a way. With a 13 Arcana, this strikes you somewhat familiar. It reminds you of in a previous life when Theron would switch personalities when he would take on the Mask of Stone.
Gotcha. Then okay. So okay. I think I just look at it. I think especially like following on that horrible that really horrible deception check from before. I think you see that Axel there's happiness and excitement, but like sadness, and then a brief flash of anger, and I think he just looks at you. He just says, "Where have you been?" Why are you here?
I have not been myself. Not until just recently. I have been Xingpan. I am... He shrugs. I am a little over 100 years old, so I have been here quite some time. If anything, I've been waiting for you.
Right.
But bygones be bygones. It is good to be reunited with you again, even if it's not the same.
Axel, you feel a pulse, from your wrist.
Where?
Just like a pulse, like a vibration, like
Okay. Insight check, Arcana check. Or is there a check to be made, or?
No, you just instinctively know. The count is 30.
But no, it is good to see you, but why now? Why are you here?
He'll tilt his head. Because we are not done. We are destined to do the same again. But this time we will stop it.
Will we?
He nods. You have to believe.
There is an unmistakable note of disdain at your words. It is good to see you again, my friend. Oral, do you know of... What do you know? Do you remember?
It's all broken. It's come in dreams here and there. I've seen visions, I've seen the prior versions of most of us. I've seen the prior version of Odin, but the things I know are nowhere near as much as Jingpan, or I think even Tariq knows more than I do.
Who's Tariq? I don't...
Tariq is, he gestures over to the large bug.
The bug?
Yes.
How does... I don't understand.
It's a lot to take in. I wasn't exactly expecting that either when I went to pick them up.
I don't think any of us were expecting Chaitan. He shrugs. Though I guess it's not that strange of a gap from Scales. Taps his chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me an insight, Axel, if you can start to piece together what they're...
Okay, I sent you a message also.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Man, God, I am rolling well today. So, but on a 23, I can glean that, like, it's Nura and...
I would assume.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say with a 20... Sorry, I thought you were continuing. Yeah, with a 23, you can gather from, at least from what Malakar or Xingpan has just said, that Tariq is, yes, Nura. That's your suspicion, anyway.
What exactly do you think we are going to do here?
The best we can. It is what the universe deserves from us. Those of us who can change things. Those of us who remember who we were, we owe it to this world, don't you think? We owe it to ourselves too, and all the lives that came before. They shouldn't have had to die like they did.
Just because I know who I was does not mean that I am still that man.
Nor am I Mythical. I like to think that I'm a lot more wise than he was.
And he grins from ear to ear.
We are all different people, friend, but our connections cannot be severed. We will be drawn to each other every single time unless we stop it now. But we need Odin, and we need everyone else. That is our first job. We've already received our first premonition, and I think I may have a clue as to where to start. But I want to get everyone together so we can work on this as one.
And he kind of clasps one hand over the other.
Without all the links, the armor is just chain, my friend.
And what about any of those who may still try and oppose what good you may think you're doing?
A challenge is not a challenge without competition.
I suppose. Okay. Where is Odin right now? He's still being accosted by various nobles, I assume.
You see that the Moreaus are approaching him currently.
Okay.
I would have addressed Alessio out loud as if I wished to speak with him. The insinuation is I'm going to, whatever it is I'm going to say, it's going to be from across the room into the whole room. And if that means at that point you hear Odin's voice ring out, he'll go, Count Alessio, I'm very glad that you and your family decided to attend this event. I'm honored to have your presence here.
He nods and smiles, and he will greet first the Duke and Duchess, and then he will nod to you, Odin, and in response, yes, we are glad to be here. I am happy to acknowledge your heirship to the Duke of Cartano. But I think an event like this is best served by the new age of nobility. And he will place his hand on Bastion's shoulder and sort of pat him on the back as if to nudge him forward. And Bastion will bow to you. Lord Cartano, House Moreau offers congratulations. He presents before you an elegant case of black wood with red enamel corners. Inside rests a pistol stand. It is exquisite. The base is carved from dark rosewood, the fittings are silver, and the display arms are shaped to hold a firearm at the perfect angle for both for admiration beneath glass. There's no pistol, just the stand. A fitting place, I thought, for a weapon too important to be left in common use. Now you can give me an insight.
Bitch, I know what that fucking common meant, bitch. I don't need to insight nothing.
Still give me an insight. It's not a hard one.
18.
Yeah, with an 18, you clearly understand the depth of the slight. Not simply as just referring to common, he's referring to you as an ornament to be kept in glass. He is insinuating that you are not meant to be out in public play, that you are there to look pretty, and no more.
It is my understanding that House Moreau has doubled the holdings within the coffers over this last year. I'm sure the whole of the realm can look forward to shall we say... Shit, I'm bad at improv. Hang on.
Take your time. This is a game of wit. Give yourself a minute. If you also can't do it out of character, you can roll.
Basically, he's trying to say, I understand that you're the richest family in the realm and that you're growing richer as time progresses, but he's suggesting that the realm and not his family alone will benefit from it.
Yeah, give me a persuasion. Or an intimidation. I could see it going from both ways.
12.
12.
And it'll be more along the lines of like suggesting, or maybe even posing a question: can we count on House Moreau to ensure that the orphans of Evero and the less fortunate, the destitute, can be assured full bellies and a warm place to sleep in this next coming year?
He sort of chuckles and says, "Careful, Lord Cardinal. If you make every gift into a duel, people may begin to think that you prefer violence."
Well, they should not worry such, as I have a place to rest my weapon now. And he'll take the stand and move it over to join the others that have been left for him.
Get
He
God,
nods.
Tucker.
He nods and says, "I am pleased. It suits you."
It will serve.
And he sort of chuckles, and he will do a low, exaggerated bow, and he will pay his greetings to the Duke and Duchess.
Don't strain yourself such, Bastian.
He ignores that, and he leaves. All right, let's cut now to Tariq. Tariq, you approach Alder Naramzi. He looks at you, looks you up and down, and says, "Well, you are quite the interesting fellow. I must say I'm a bit honored to be the first one that you would come to see. It must be fate. I am Alder Naramzi," and he will do a sort of a deep, sort of almost Eastern-styled bow, sort of holding out his arms to the side as he bows, letting his long, flowing sort of drapery around his cloak fall to the ground before standing to greet you.
I am Tariq. The honor is mine, and I will do the same gesture. I have heard of your study in temporal magics, and I am very pleased to meet you.
He smiles. "Well, the honor is mine. You are the talk of much of the room, and for you to seek me out, it's well, truly." He'll reach out a hand to shake yours. "It is good to meet a new colleague."
Tariq's both upper hands will come and clasp his, give them a warm squeeze. Give his hand a warm squeeze.
There is a warm and joyful squeeze in return, and he seems genuinely happy to make your acquaintance. Like, "I can't wait to tell everybody back at the Crystal Tower about this," is sort of the vibe you're getting from him.
Mm-hmm. You are quite friendly. I feel like we have already known each other for some time.
Honestly, if you told me we had, I would believe you. There's something about you that just feels familiar. Can't quite place my finger on it, though. A strange thing to say, I'm sure. And no one in this room would claim to call you familiar, I'm sure. He sort of chuckles to himself.
Perhaps it is your realm of study. Mayhaps we have met in another time.
He seems to ponder that for a long time, but he nods and says, I think that must be it. Perhaps, or perhaps something to do with a prophecy, something in the Crystal Tower?
Yes. The origin of prophecies tends to walk under the endless stars through the sand.
You speak as though you know the Crystal Spire well.
I feel I have walked the sands and under the stars many years. Many years more than I have.
An old soul, is it? And there are many of your like at the Crystal Spire. If you are so interested, I would be happy to invite you to our doors to come and see and learn what we know of divination and time, the way it flows, and its many mysteries.
Yes, I have been meaning to visit the spire myself. It feels like a place I must be. Also, there is a individual there that I wish to speak to most individuals there. But one of particular interest is someone who has been studying my own field of study. I have taken an interest in runes since I was quite young. And I believe there is a scholar is a generous term, one Kelvic soul.
Oh, you speak of the Rune Child. Ha. An interesting individual, that one. But I am sure that you would get along famously. I would be happy to introduce you.
My many thanks, Elder. Excuse me, Master Naramdi.
He nods, and it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Please do stay in touch. A Tariq, was it?
Tariq, yes.
He nods. I shall be listening for your word, or keeping an eye out for your shell, perhaps.
And I will endeavor to come visit as soon as I am able. I thank you for your time.
He smiles from ear to ear and says, No, I thank you. This has been a most interesting encounter.
Yeah.
And you can have inspiration. How is Tariq feeling after interacting with Nura's adoptive father?
Well, he's more of a big brother to Nora, but Tariq has been stifling the urge to crush this individual in a hug. So they're feeling pretty good.
Nice. Odin. Sorry, give me just a second. As the conversation with Moreau breaks and the last of the givers sort of spun away, you're given a first moment in a while to stand and sort of move about the hall of your own whim. And your attention is drawn to one of the balcony doors you see that stands open into the night air. Beyond the doors, where the ballroom light thins against the dark, a figure waits near the rail, still and watching. Their face is hidden behind what looks like a mask made of stone. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy. Probably should have saved my inspirations. No, that's not terrible.
You fail.
I fail?
Oh, no.
The check was a 19.
Oh no.
The wind
to suck.
takes the room from you. The chandeliers stretch into streaks of gold. The music tears apart into voices. You see flashes that are not yours, a table of familiar strangers, a hand reaching across a battlefield, a stone mask turning away from fire, someone saying your name as if it belonged to another soul. A voice cuts through it all. You have to understand. And then the voice releases you as the marble beneath your shoes feels unfamiliar. When you look again, you are standing upon the balcony, and the stone masked figure is gone.
Work.
I'll look around just to confirm that they're gone, and then I'll turn to look back from where I presumably came from, even though I don't know how I got to where I am, to see if the
Standing-
party is still happening.
The party is still happening, but as you turn to look around, standing next to you on the balcony, near the outer rail, is your sister, Emmeline. She is in half palace light, half moonlit and dark, one hand raised in a small, urgent wave as she calls out to you.
I look from her back to the partygoers to see if anyone has noticed. Predominantly, I'm looking for Celeste, Peter, and Hammond, as they would probably be the three to keep close check on where I am and what I'm doing.
Yeah, so Peter, you would have seen Odin, like after everyone has sort of come and greeted him, he stands up and he tells you, Peter, I'm going to get a breath of air. And he goes out on the balcony.
I give him like a couple of steps alone, and as he reaches for the window, I approach just to stay close and stand by the window, give him the space he needs.
Okay. From inside, you can see Odin's sister Emmeline on the balcony.
Very quickly, what sense do I have that her presence here would be a disruption, if any? And in what way?
Somewhat, but like not a huge disruption. So you know that in the formality of like noble society, she's still recognized as a noble, and she can be here. It's not going to break any rules or cause the guards to be in a huffah because she's here. But she wouldn't wish to be seen near your parents or you in public.
I'll sort of do another double take between her and the partygoers before I kind of like move myself over to that shadowy side that is half of her, wherever she's standing, half in light, half in shadow, and join her in the shadows to hear whatever it is she has to say. He'll say, "What are you doing here?"
She smiles and sort of chuckles. There you are. I was starting to think they had embalmed you in your seat. I have come to give you a gift, like the others. I could have given you a relic or a prayer book or some little gold thing everyone would pretend to admire. But in 20 years, when you are Duke, you will remember this better. And she produces a wrapped paper packet from inside which the smell reaches you first. Hot oil, pepper, roasted onion, charred flatbread, spiced meat and vegetables, and a bright citrus tinge that hangs through the salt air. And also, you look hungry.
He sort of scoffs at that, half derisively, half actually amused and appreciative. I don't suppose I could ask you to come inside and join us.
She shakes her head and says, "Oh no, I'm something of a pariah.
You're my sister. My twin sister."
She smiles. And she sort of leans on you and says, "Well, I appreciate your words. I think that your friend Bastian Moreau might have harsher words for me than even you. It doesn't hurt my feelings to see you in such a setting as this."
He just looks at her. Sadly, kind of, but appreciative that she's here.
You know,
I think there's like an unspoken recognition that obviously Odin would be more than willing to tell Bastion or anyone else who has anything else to say about Emmeline's presence to like stuff it, but he also knows that it's not that simple anymore. And that one day, you gotta work with your enemies while simultaneously sometimes working against them, but open contempt is dangerous.
She smiles and just says, "We both have our roles to play, Odin. Mine is, well, not from the shadows. I don't know that there are many shadows in the City of Light." She sort of chuckles. "But mine is closer to the ground. And you know, recently there have been strange and interesting events. The church has been full all week, you see. Many people asking for blessings before travel. People asking for old sins to be passed on, or to be cleansed. A great many people interested in unity and mercy. There is some hope in that, I find. And perhaps with one such as yourself taking heir to a dukedom, perhaps soon I won't have to worry about so many solemn footsteps at my door."
It is a tall order you ask of me, knowing who I share that room with, and he nods back behind him.
She chuckles and says, "I know you are more than up to the task. And from what I saw, there were more than a handful of friendly faces in that room, happy to see you and to stand by your side. If you can stand against the Moreaus and the Viziers, then I think you will be fine.
I don't know why, but I have this intuition that the noble houses of Everu or the noble houses of any of the other great nations beyond our borders are merely the flavor of the day.
She ponders that for a moment.
I've been having visions, sister.
She sort of leans over the balcony and reads your face as you continue.
Don't know why. Don't know wherefore, but they are distressing and they leave me feeling exhausted and weak.
She will reach a hand over and sort of brush some of the hair off of your face. My dear brother, I know not what these visions you speak of are, but we all face hardships, and we all have those who will stand at one another's back. I am here for you, always. Axel will stand for you always. This new guard, Peter, she sort of chuckles as he's sort of standing nearby, guarding you. Hammond, our parents, your other siblings, our other siblings, and a great many friends who you don't even know are watching your back. Do not think that you are without allies. If you fall, we shall be there to pick you up.
He'll pull her in to embrace her.
She'll come in for a deep hug. I am proud of you, brother. And you can tell she's shaking a little bit. She puts on a proud face, a strong face, and she tries as hard as she can to do her best for you. But you can tell that there's a lot of pressure that she holds too, especially now as you hold one another in your arms. But somehow that feeling as you embrace, you feel like you're stronger together.
I won't say anything, but feeling her shake, I'll pull away, and my arms will come down her shoulders, her upper arms, and eventually end with her hands in mine, both sides, and I'll just hold her hands in front of me until she stops shaking.
She looks down and realizes the gesture. I didn't even realize. Thank you, Odin.
He nods to her.
It is a big day for both of us. But she, the air sort of catches in her breath, and she turns and looks to her right. It seems you have another guest who would have words with you.
He looks to see who it is.
At the door, standing with no announcement, no guard, High Luminary, the King of Evru, Alucard Manon IV.
Low bow immediately, and I think I'll. Does Emmeline bow with me?
She does.
Okay, yeah, low bow in tandem with her to the king.
She'll quickly speak out. It is good to see you, High Luminary. Your Majesty, King of Everyone. And he sort of raises his hands and sort of lowers it as if to say, enough with that. And he says, no one will see us here, my child. Away with the formalities. He will come and place a hand on each of your shoulders and nod to each of you one in turn. I am proud to see what you both have become. He smiles. And then he looks to Emily. If you would spare us a moment, my dear, I would have word with the young scion. And she sort of nods and sort of steps a few steps back. Then I shall leave first. And she sort of holds your hand for a moment longer as she pulls away, Odin.
Before she goes, I'll lean in to kiss her cheek.
She'll exchange the greeting, and she'll kiss your opposite cheek. May Atomos watch over you. And
he lowers his eyes at that, letting it hang in the air. He won't acknowledge it, but he won't counter her either, given that the representative of one of the gods is stood right here in earshot of her saying that.
Yeah. And the High Luminary just lets it slide. Again, he is... Well, you've not interacted much with the king in your life. You've met him before, and you've had formal dinners with him, mostly with your parents present. You've had a few moments with the king alone in the past, but a moment like this is rare. Here, the king, he feels human. He is regal, but he's not performing the throne. He's old enough to be tired, but wise enough to feel humorous and confident enough to set his formality aside. Odin.
Agrees.
Please. Enough with the formality. It would please me greatly if you would call me Alucard. At least while...
Odin's shoulders tense up, and he looks very uncomfortable, but in that little kid way of, interacting informally with a major superior. And he takes a breath and his shoulders come back down and he nods to Alucard.
Do you say his name?
Not yet. But he's acknowledged the request and has not ignored it thus far.
Your grandmother would call you a coward. And he sort of chuckles. And then he looks over the city.
My grandmother would say whatever she needs to say to get her point across, I think.
He smiles and nods knowingly. And it's a deep nod, the nod of somebody sharing in a joke, and he sort of chuckles. This is a level of humanity that you've never seen from the king. It has been easier to work with the Duke of Carteneau when we were friends. Your father and I learned that after only 3 arguments, 2 committee disasters, and 1 truly appalling dinner in Point Plenty. I believe it was your grandmother that encouraged or perhaps bullied him into speaking to me with less formality.
I would assume the latter.
He chuckles. I've seen how you carried yourself in that room. You wear your new duty like a brand new coat. It fits you well.
I appreciate the sentiments, Alucard. But I think
He smiles as he says his name.
I think though the coat may look nice on me, it may not yet be broken in, so to speak.
Good. Nerves are useful. They remind a man that his choices may reach farther than his hands. You know, I watched you tonight. Not the speech, which was easy to polish, but the gifts, the insults, the way people tried to decide whether you are a young man or a symbol or a door into your father's house. And do you know what I saw?
Shakes his head no.
I saw a young man, a future ruler. I saw one with a good head on his shoulders. A man who will work together with the other nobles rather than bickering and fighting with them. A man who stands for the people, not only the nobility. I saw the way you interacted with the parliamentaries. It has been my lifelong wish to see power shared between those of the higher stature and the common folk. And I am glad to know that that dream will live on through you. But tell me, Odin, what kind of ruler do you intend to become?
He looks out over the city, assuming wherever we're stood can see out over the city.
Yeah, you're looking out over the city. This is one of the highest points in the city. It's quite a beautiful view from where you're stood. The multiple layers of the city, the upper district, which you sit above, the lower district, the docks below, the sea out over the coast, the waves lapping at the edge of the cliffs.
Would you desire the idealistic answer or the pragmatic answer?
That you have 2 answers speaks to your wisdom, the realism. But I wish to know that which your soul desires. What impossible dreams would you make reality?
He gestures out to the city and he goes, somewhere out there is an orphan boy or an orphan girl, wondering if they will be able to eat tonight, or in the morning, or tomorrow night, or the night after that. Idealistically, I would see that never becomes an issue ever again. At least not within the borders of Evercore. No child should have to starve. No parent should have to watch their child starve. I think, simply put, I cannot give you an answer as to what actual thing I would do to facilitate this idealistic dream, this hope. But I know that my guide post is to leave this place, this world, if I can help it, better than before.
He smiles.
In the face of insurmountable adversity from those of my peer, and he gestures back behind him, to those less fortunate who would look upon me with scorn and derision simply for the wealth I possess or the family and status I was born into. I would make myself an ally to them, whether they realize it or not.
Wise words from one so young. When I was young, I believed a ruler's task was to want the right things strongly enough. Peace, prosperity, learning, light. And I did want them, truly. And still every wish entered the world through taxes and soldiers, compromises, favors, punishments, marriages, roads, and prisons, funerals, and men in rooms explaining why cruelty would be more efficient. That is the harsh reality, the part that no one carves beneath the statues. Rule is not simply the art of having a noble wish. It is the discipline of watching what your noble wish becomes once you ask the people to build them. And also, and he sort of chuckles, and he puts a hand on your shoulder. Never trust a minister who says a plan has no downside. It's usually... Sorry, go ahead.
Odin chuckles at that.
Yeah. It usually means he intends to assign the downside to someone less fortunate. And also, never let a banquet committee choose the battlefield rations. He sort of chuckles, and he has a look on his face. It's a purposeful, exaggerated look on his face, as if he's living out some horrible, vision from his past. And he turns and looks at you, with his eyes wide and his mouth in an exaggerated, look of horror. And then he sort of, again, breaks out into a deep laughter.
What was it? Braised dodo?
He smiles. You know your history. Unfortunately, I am displeased that you would remember my failings.
It
But
wasn't your failing, Alucard. It was the failing of the caterers, I would say.
he smiles and nods.
I'm sure braised dodo tastes rather good if it's cooked correctly.
Unfortunately, it is a delicacy, not one meant for the battlefield. Not all would know how to cook it. He turns and looks to the doors leading back into the ballroom. But you should go back in before they decide I've abducted you. I will linger here a moment longer. The king is allowed to hide from the party if he does so with sufficient dignity. He sort of chuckles to himself.
Very well. Thank you, Alucard. Your grace.
He nods. It is good to speak to you as a friend, an equal, a man at arms in this game of politics. May the light of the goddess shine upon you, my child.
He bows low and takes his leave.
Okay.
Wanders
Bear
back
with me
into
for
the
just
back into the banquet.
bear with me for just a moment.
I think as he gets to the table, if I can.
He doesn't get to the table.
Oh, okay.
As you return to the ballroom, or try to return to the ballroom, as you approach the door, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
What? Oh. 6, man.
It's not good.
It's rough out here.
You feel a hand on your shoulder. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Come on, D&D Beyond. Stop fucking me, please. Nope. Can't have it.
You're frozen. You're frozen in place. You can't move. You can't even move your eyes. Your mouth won't open. The breath doesn't come. You feel almost as if you were suffocating. Give me a perception.
22.
You notice beyond the door, inside the ballroom, people are stopped mid-dance. Peter is half turned towards you, his hand on his rapier as if he's running towards you. Time has stopped. A voice rings out from behind you, as if the wind is splitting the voice through your head. I am truly sorry, my old friend. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
6.
Your head explodes in pain. Not literally, figuratively. You see flashes, visions in front of your eye. A burning city. Giant islands falling from the sky. A dragon felled by a dark beast. I wish I did not have to do this to you. Give me a wisdom save. You remember a round table, plaques. You remember Delphine and the king of Avalon. You remember Axel, but it's not Axel. You remember a man with brown curly hair. He stands at a board as he explains. You look to him and your vision blurs and your head rings in pain. There was no other way. Give me another saving throw.
Wisdom?
Yep. If you had only remembered, neither of us would have needed to suffer so. Give me another wisdom saving throw. You remember your final moments as you ride Caden the dragon, as the world cracks and falls around you. You remember Theron Mourngrave, kneeled in the streets of the city of Mirrodin as the world collapses, the air ripples, fire and wrath and lightning and ice, the world crumbling beneath your feet. That last moments, those final words you sent to your loved ones. It collapses as you feel a hug, squeeze from an invisible figure, and then the figure is gone, and time begins to flow once more. Give me a perception check, Odin. There is no sign of the figure, but there is a distinct sense, the feeling of a warm dampness on your coat, the smell of salty tears. You may act now.
Lifts up a hand, trembling hand. It's like he took whatever shaking Emmeline had, and he has it in his hand now, and presses it against the dampness. And pulls it away to look at his hand.
I imagine it's trembling.
I imagine there's blood dripping from it.
Perhaps if that's maybe from the shock, almost like a nosebleed or something.
Oh, no, you said there's dampness on his coat. I thought he was stabbed.
No.
Have I not been stabbed? Oh, okay.
You've not been stabbed.
I legit, you set that up like I had been stabbed.
No, you've
No,
not
you're
been
fine.
stabbed. You, it's the scent of tears is the dampness.
Okay.
I'm like, why blood? I'm so confused.
Well, he was apologizing to me, and I thought he was like, he had to kill me to ensure the cycle continues or breaks. I don't know.
I guess we'll
it's
find out what he
everybody-
was apologizing here in a moment.
I think... Was that the worst pain Odin has ever felt?
Probably.
He makes it into the ballroom a couple of steps, enough
Yep.
for at least a couple of people to take notice, and he
Peter, you would immediately see this.
he collapses. I guess just as Peter gets to him.
Not long after you enter the room, Odin, Peter, you see immediately a ghastly sight. And Before you can react, a servant has noticed. The sound of shattered porcelain rings through the hall as the servant yells, "The king! The king is dead!" Bastion Moreau immediately moves through the room. He points at you. "Murdered! Kingslayer! He has murdered the king!" And that is where we will end the session.
Dude, why did Odin kill the king, bro?
Also, Axel, the count is 10.
Interesting. It is. Okay. Nox, why did you kill the king?
He looked at me
Wow.
funny. He's a beetle racist.
Oh my god. Well, there you go.
Fucking
Bruh.
Dong dong.
I hope y'all enjoyed the session.
It was a good one.
Good one.
Now to go be human in real world again. Goodbye.
Oh god. Alright,
Take it.
guys. Have a good weekend. Good session, Grim. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It wasn't like
Bye.
a surprising twist because we knew the king died in the previous session, the previous timeline. But I hope you enjoyed this twist on the timeline.
Why you gotta make it so fucking difficult for me?